G'day, I'm Mark Latham. I'm here at the National Conference of the Australian Christian Association in Sydney on Saturday. We've been talking about how we can protect and preserve our Western civilisation. I've been here with my outsider colleague Ross Cameron. We're going to give you a 7 or 8 minute package of highlights from our speeches, and it makes the important point. This fight is so vital. We've got to ensure that libertarians and conservatives and traditional social democrats and Christians all unite to fight as hard as they can for Australian values against the left. Here's what Ross and I had to say. Now, as I get around with my media commitments, as I get around with my daily life in southwest Sydney, the most common piece of commentary I get from people is they'll say, Mark, what is happening to our country? This is an Australia that I no longer recognise. This is not my Australia anymore. What is going on? Where has this political correctness come from? The social engineering, the identity politics, the cultural Marxism, all the madness we hear on a daily basis in our institutions. Where has it come from, and what can we do about it? Well, where has it come from? Well, I put to you three motives or reasons why this madness has gripped Australian public life. The first is that the very worst thing happened to left-wing politics, and that is they got wealthy. See, the interest I had in left-of-centre politics, joining the Labor Party out of Green Valley, a public housing state in the 1970s, was that we have to lift people out of poverty. We have to try and end socio-economic disadvantage. Now, you don't hear the Labor Party or the Greens or the lefties talk about poor people anymore. The second thing that happened, you know, we all cheered for the fall of the Berlin Wall, the fall of the old Soviet Union, but I think at that point we had a sense of complacency that we'd seen the Marxist project off. In fact, we'd only seen off half of it. One half of Marxism was about economic control. Can they control the means of production, distribution and exchange? And that was a wretched project that collapsed in on itself, because in human nature people want to compete, they want to excel, they don't want to work hard and then be paid the same as someone else who's just bludging on the system. People believe in incentive and entrepreneurialism and having a go. And the Soviet Union fell over for that reason. And we got a bit complacent, thinking, oh, that's the end of Marxism, we'll never hear of that again. But there was another, perhaps more insidious half of Marxism that's now on the march, and in large part has captured a majority of Australia's public institutions. And we call that cultural Marxism, because it's not economic, but still the leftist impulse is always to control. And Safe Schools is the best demonstration and the clearest understanding of what cultural Marxism is about. Safe Schools was supposed to be an anti-bullying program, and it's got nothing to do with that whatsoever. It's all about teaching people there's no fixed gender or sexuality or biology in the world. It's actually an anti-education program, because it says to a young boy, you can be a girl tomorrow and a boy the day after that. Everything is fluid. And you shouldn't be hypnotised by capitalist propaganda and hegemony. You should understand that nothing is stable and reliable in our society, and you should think of everything as being open and variable and fluid. And it's designed to confuse young people about their sexuality. And she said it was part of a neo-Marxist program to get young people so agitated and uncomfortable about their place in society, they'll join this cultural uprising against the existing order. And the third aspect, the third related aspect of why the left have embraced these policies and methods is called post-structuralist Marxism. And it was prominent in Europe, particularly in France in the late 1960s. And its attitude is that all of history, all of our knowledge, all of our values, all of our understanding, and I believe that is a wooden lectern, is all fabricated as a capitalist construct. That there's no such thing as fixed knowledge in our society. We can laugh, but this is what these nutters believe in. It's unbelievable. But they think that everything we know in what we've learned at school, from our parents, any part of society, is a capitalist construct, meaning it's been devised to get us to accept the existing social order of capitalism and free enterprise. It's a good point on which to conclude. What we've got to hope for, as with the fall of the old Soviet Union, there is something more powerful than leftist politics, and that is human nature. The old Soviet Union fell down because people like competition and excelling and entrepreneurialism, and they want to work hard and get a reward for it. We've got to now hope that it's essential to human nature that people believe in freedom, they believe in merit, They believe in the excellence of the West. They believe in rationality, knowledge, reason, education, the values of the Enlightenment. And you can try and brainwash these kids in the schools and universities, but human nature will push through. And I've got to say, politics aside and the power of government aside, I always believe that human nature will push through and prevail. So I hope in 15 years' time that while the left were to march further through institutions, there'll be a growing rebellion, particularly through young people, because they live in the world of the internet, which is the world of freedom, and they value freedom. And I wouldn't give up on young people. You know, the ones in my house, you know, they're sort of more enlightened than me on this stuff, and I take inspiration from them. Don't assume for a moment, because they're being hypnotised in schools and universities, they're going to fall for this nonsense. Human nature will push through in the end. I hope in 15 years' time, that rebellion, where people are demanding freedom, merit, reason, knowledge and respect for our civilisation, it would be gathering pace and starting to push back the forces of darkness.
Amen.
The deep state will go out of its way to prosecute and destroy someone with a dissenting opinion, yet has no interest whatever of the speed of travel on the morning peak on, say, Parramatta Road. We find that it is deeply, intensively concerned to curate the sexual development of our children in schools, but it has no concern that every year we fall further and further behind in literacy and numeracy. And the question is, well, what is the deep state? Is this a kind of conspiracy that you are imagining, Ross? I am the last one to believe a conspiracy. My problem is, over the last 20 years, all the conspiracies have turned out to be true. That is the big problem. And I say that the indicia of the deep state, which is a kind of compact, a sort of new deal which has emerged between the big institutions of government, the government departments, the semi-government agencies, then the non-government organisations who the sort of George Soros funded once were charities, now are just head-kicking organs of political correctness. And then you get the masthead media, which is effectively, you know, in the Sydney Morning Herald, the Melbourne Age, CNN, New York Post, MSNBC, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. The persecution, the persecution of Mark Latham is this sort of twitching irritation, the burr in the saddle of this deep state coalition of government, of media, of corporations which have all sold out. You are effectively meeting, like the Christians, in the catacombs with the sound of the Roman soldiers, you know, marching overhead. We don't really have the luxury to be rushing around looking for the problems in each other's argument. I still say to the deep state, bang it, bang it. You know, I am not going to die lying down, giving in, hoisting up the white flag when we've been led by a bunch of primitive savages.
If you like that video, please share it with all your family and friends on social media, and to subscribe to our shows and support the Mark Latham's Outsiders Rebel Australia platform, please have a look at therebel.media/shows.